Welcome to the Honoring My Temple podcast. If you're looking to put God at the center of your life and live that out practically through your health, habits, and everyday choices, this podcast is for you. I'm Kelly Wenner, founder of Soul Strength Fit and author of Honoring My Temple. Here we explore biblical wisdom and how to apply it to real life, your mindset, food, exercise, and the habits that shape who you're becoming. Let's get started. Today, I want to talk about weight loss because it's one of the most common health goals, especially for those of us over 40. And it's something I talk about all the time with clients. And honestly, it's something a lot of people struggle with. Now, even though the title of today's episode is How I Dropped 10 Pounds Fast, the story I'm about to share wasn't actually that fast. It happened over the course of a few months, but I'm sharing it to make a really important point. Last year, I had 3 fairly major surgeries within about 4 months. The first was a hamstring repair to reattach a torn tendon, which was not fun. I was on crutches and completely non-weight bearing for about 6 weeks, followed by a very slow recovery just to get back to walking and PT. Before I could fully recover from that, I had a hysterectomy, another major surgery that required several more weeks of no lifting and only light walking. And then less than 2 weeks after the hysterectomy, I ended up needing a hernia repair after tearing some internal stitching, which again meant more time with no exercise and very limited movement. So over that stretch of time, I lost almost 10 pounds. And that's what I want to talk about today, because yes, I lost weight, but not in a good way. And in a world that celebrates fast weight loss, that might sound like a good thing. I lost almost 10 pounds, but it wasn't. I'm telling you, it came at a cost. Over those months, I lost almost 10 pounds, and a large part of that was muscle. And I want to be very clear about this. Muscle loss is never the goal. I can't tell you how many people I've seen chase weight loss without really thinking about where that weight is coming from, as long as the number on the scale is going down. So honestly, I think we need to stop focusing on weight loss altogether. The goal isn't weight loss. The goal is fat loss. Because when weight loss is approached the wrong way, you can absolutely lose weight, but not in a way that actually improves your health, your strength, or your long-term results. And seasons like sickness, surgery, inactivity, or even things like weight loss drugs can all lead to that kind of weight loss where muscle is lost right along with it. But let me tell you about my season of healing and rebuilding, what it was like to lose so much muscle in a relatively short amount of time. Getting back to normal life and especially getting back to exercise was tough. I mean, really tough. Even after I was cleared by my doctors to start working out again, I didn't just bounce back like I thought I would. I honestly felt like I was starting from scratch, and that was shocking to me. Because this is coming from someone who could hike up a mountain, film a few workouts, hike back down, and keep going. And now, just getting through my day was wearing me out. I remember my first day back at the gym, I did a few body weight squats and I was sore for days. But one of the biggest things I noticed wasn't just the loss of strength, it was the lack of energy. I used to have steady energy throughout the day, training clients, walking on my walking pad while working, taking care of the house, cooking dinner, taking out the trash, all the normal things. Just consistent, steady energy. And suddenly, that was gone. It actually made me think about the Proverbs 31 woman. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. That's how I normally felt. Strong, capable, ready to handle whatever the day brought. But after losing that muscle, I didn't feel that way at all. I felt depleted. I felt tired all the time. Even normal everyday tasks felt like too much. And here's something else I noticed. What that did to my mindset. It became this negative cycle. Low energy led to low motivation, which led to just not feeling mentally or emotionally my best. And there's actually a real connection there. When your physical health declines, it directly impacts your mood, your emotions, even your ability to handle stress. Which brings me to another part of that passage from Proverbs 31. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. And I'll be honest, I wasn't feeling that either. When I didn't feel well physically, I didn't feel well mentally or emotionally. And when I didn't feel well emotionally, I definitely wasn't waking up ready to take on the day and laugh at the days to come. Everything felt heavier. Problems felt bigger. My patience felt smaller. It's not easy to laugh at the days to come when you feel crummy. And it made me realize something, how easy it is to chase weight loss, to just want to drop 10, 20, however many pounds. But the goal isn't weight loss. The goal is fat loss while building strength, energy, and discipline. So let's just pause for a second and talk about what's really happening here. Excess body fat isn't just about appearance. It can affect your energy levels, your hormones, your heart health, your body's ability to regulate blood sugar. Over time, it puts added stress on your system in ways that impact how you feel every single day. But what's often overlooked is the power of muscle. Muscle isn't just about strength or how you look. It's one of the biggest drivers of your energy. It helps your body produce energy at a cellular level. So when you have more muscle, you tend to feel more energetic, more steady throughout the day and less run down. It also plays a major role in regulating your blood sugar, helping your body use the food you eat more effectively, which means fewer crashes, fewer cravings, and more stable energy. And beyond that, muscle supports your metabolism, your hormones, and even your brain health. It impacts how clearly you think, how well you handle stress, and how consistently you show up in your day. And here's the part that most people don't think about. Muscle is directly tied to longevity. It can literally extend your lifespan and, just as importantly, improve the quality of your days. So when we talk about weight loss, we have to be careful because weight loss includes everything: muscle, water, and fat. But fat loss is intentional because if you're not careful, your body won't just lose fat, it will lose muscle too. And that's why it requires a wise approach, not just doing what works fast, but what works right. Proverbs 14:8 says, "The wisdom of the prudent is to give thought to their ways." As believers, we are called to be wise, not just in what we believe, but in how we live, in our daily choices, in our habits, in how we care for our bodies. Just like the Proverbs 31 woman, a woman marked by wisdom and diligence. And that's the same mindset we're called to bring into our lives and the ways in which we steward our health. So let's make this practical. If we're called to be wise in how we care for our bodies, what does that actually look like? I want to walk you through 6 ways you can approach fat loss intentionally. So you're not just losing weight, but actually preserving your strength and your health. And the truth is, I use these same 6 things, not just for fat loss, but for maintenance, for staying lean, and for feeling my best now that I am back to my normal weight and health. So first, food quality matters. Okay, your body doesn't just respond to calories. It responds to what those calories are made of. 2 meals can have the same exact calories, but affect your body in very different ways. So whole foods, especially those with protein and fiber, help you feel full and satisfied, which naturally supports fat loss. You're not constantly hungry. You're not fighting cravings. Your body's actually working with you. And this is something that Jason Fung, a physician who focuses on obesity and metabolic health, talks about a lot. Your body isn't just a calorie calculator. It's driven by hormones. What you eat affects how your body stores or burns energy. Highly processed foods, especially those in refined carbs, high in refined carbs and sugar, tend to spike insulin. And insulin is essentially your body's storage signal. Every time you eat, insulin rises a bit, but when it stays elevated, especially from frequent snacking or highly processed foods, your body is being told to store energy, not burn it. And here's the key: your body can't effectively burn stored fat when insulin levels are constantly high. So even if calories are the same, different foods create very different responses. A meal of processed carbs and sugar can keep insulin elevated and push your body toward fat storage. But whereas whole, balanced meal with protein, healthy fats, and fiber keeps those signals more stable and allows your body to actually access and use stored fat for energy. So yes, calories matter, but the quality of those calories determine how your body responds. And when you're trying to lose fat without losing muscle, giving your body the right nutrients, especially enough protein, is non-negotiable. So first, focus on food quality. Minimally processed, protein-rich, and built around whole foods. Next, calories do matter. You can be eating all the healthy foods, but if you're consistently eating more than your body needs, your body will store that excess as fat. So if you've been trying to lose weight and feel stuck, understanding your calorie intake is really an important piece of the puzzle. Now, this doesn't mean you need to track calories forever, but even tracking your food honestly and thoroughly for just a few days can be incredibly eye-opening. It can show you how much you're actually eating, where hidden calories might be coming from, and even when and why you're eating. And that awareness alone can make a big difference, because while a healthy whole food diet is the foundation, the next layer is understanding your personal calorie needs. Okay, so a simple way to estimate your maintenance calories, so this is to stay exactly where you are right now, is to take your body weight and multiply it by about 15. Okay, so for example, a 130-pound woman might need around 2,000 calories per day to maintain her weight. 130 times 15. So from there, fat loss typically requires a modest calorie deficit, usually around 20 or 30%. Going too aggressive might lead to faster weight loss, but it also increases the risk of losing muscle, which is exactly what we don't want. So yes, calories matter, but this isn't about perfection. You're never going to track every calorie with 100% accuracy, and that's okay. The goal is awareness, not obsession. Focus on moderation, portion control, and continuing to prioritize food quality, especially protein, so that you're supporting your metabolism, your hormones, and your overall health. But you might just want to try at least tracking calories for a few days to see where you are. All right, another important consideration is food timing. This is something a lot of people overlook, but it can make a big difference. What we don't want to do is graze all day, constantly eating, snacking here and there, never really giving your body a break, keeps your body in a fed state the entire day. And when that happens, your body doesn't get many opportunities to tap into stored fat or energy. Because just like we talked about earlier, your body can't effectively store fat and burn fat at the same time. And this is where food timing comes in. We all fast, whether we realize it or not. Just by sleeping, your body naturally goes several hours without food. The question is, how long are you allowing that window to be? A lot of research and experts like Jason Fung highlight the benefits of having a defined eating window and a defined fasting window. Something like a 16-8 approach, where you eat within an 8-hour window and fast for 16 hours, is one of the most common and sustainable ways to do this. It allows insulin levels to come down, which helps your body shift into burning stored fat for energy. And it also tends to reduce hunger and cravings over time, which makes it easier to stay consistent. Now, this doesn't have to be extreme, but if you're used to eating all day, one simple step could be tightening up your eating window. Maybe starting with 12 hours, then gradually extending it a bit as your body adjusts. The goal isn't restriction, it's structure. Giving your body clear periods of eating and clear periods of rest. And next, this is a big one, strength training. If your goal is fat loss without losing muscle, this isn't optional. It's essential. There's a lot of conversation out there about cardio versus weights. And sometimes you'll hear things like lifting weights is better for fat loss. And that might sound a little oversimplified, but when you actually look at the data, you start to see why. In studies where people were in a calorie deficit, groups that included resistance training lost more fat and preserved or even slightly increased lean muscle, whereas cardio-only groups lost some fat but also lost muscle, and groups that didn't train lost the most muscle overall. So yes, weight loss happened across the board, but the quality of that weight loss was completely different. And that matters because when you lose muscle, your metabolism drops. You look softer at the same time, and it becomes easier to regain fat later. But when you preserve muscle, you're maintaining your metabolism. You look leaner at the same time, and you set yourself up for better long-term results. So no, cardio isn't useless, but if your goal is high-quality fat loss, strength training should be your foundation. And cardio is a tool that you can layer on top. And the good news is it doesn't have to be extreme. Even a few sessions of strength training a week can make a huge difference in your strength, in your metabolism, and in your overall health. All right, so next, just as we said, cardio is a tool. So the question becomes, what's the best way to use that tool? One of the most effective ways to use that tool, the tool of cardio, is through HIIT training or high-intensity interval training. HIIT is simply short bursts of high effort followed by short periods of rest. And what's interesting is researchers like Rhonda Patrick have shown that HIIT can outperform steady, moderate cardio in a lot of ways. It's been shown to improve blood sugar control and insulin sensitivity, to reduce body fat and improve body composition, and increase mitochondrial function, which is your body's ability to produce energy. And it does all of that in less time. One of the reasons it's so effective is because of the intensity. Those short, hard efforts create a stress on your body that triggers powerful adaptations. Your body becomes more efficient at producing energy, using glucose, and then recovering. So instead of just burning calories during the workout, you're actually improving how your body functions afterward. Now, let me give you a few simple ways this can actually look. And you don't have to overthink this. HIIT is just periods of hard effort, like all-out effort, really, followed by periods of recovery. So one option is something like Tabata. And Tabata is 20 seconds on, 20 seconds of hard activity, followed by 10 seconds of rest, repeated for 8 rounds. That's about a 4-minute workout, but it's intense. Another option is a 1 minute on, 1 minute off approach. So 1 minute at a hard effort, followed by 1 minute of recovery, repeated for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then there's something like the Norwegian 4x4 method. 4 minutes at a challenging pace, followed by 3 minutes of easier recovery, repeated 4 times. Those are tough. The key is that those work intervals are hard. Those, the high intervals, they are difficult, and that's what drives the benefit. And the recovery period allows you to go again hard. Personally, I aim to get in about 2 HIIT workouts per week. And to be honest, I don't love them. But I do them. And they definitely make me appreciate my strength training days a lot more. Okay, and finally, the 6th way to approach fat loss wisely is accountability and support. And this is a big one. In fact, studies have shown that people are significantly more likely to reach their goals when they have accountability. Research shows that you are about 65% likely, or rather more likely, to reach a goal when you commit to it with someone else. 65% more likely to reach your goals when you commit to it with someone else. And you're up to 95% more likely when you have an ongoing accountability check-in partner or coach. That is a huge difference. And it makes sense. We are not wired to do life alone. Proverbs 27:17 says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." We grow through that sharpening, through encouragement, through accountability, and sometimes through people who push us to do better. Left on our own, it's easy to drift. But when someone is walking alongside you, everything changes. That's exactly why I created additional options for accountability in Soul Strength Fit. So I have leader guides and programs designed to be done in small groups because I know that there's power in community. And it's also why I offer coaching alongside my signature 8-week program so that you could have personalized guidance and accountability and the support to stay consistent as you follow the program. And if you're interested in either of those, I'll put more info in the show notes. I want to close today by coming back to Proverbs 31. A wife of noble character who can find. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. That's the kind of woman I want to be. Strong, capable, hardworking, steady, full of energy, and able to face the day and the future with confidence and joy. And I know that I have a role to play in that. The way I take care of my body, the habits I build, the discipline I choose day after day, all of it contributes to how I show up in my life. And that's what we've talked about today. These 6 things, they're not just about changing your body. They're about becoming healthier, building strength, creating energy, stabilizing your mood, becoming more disciplined. They help you become someone who is strong for the work you've been given. Because as Christians, we are called to be wise. We're called to be diligent. We're called to steward every part of our lives well. Caring for your body is one of the ways you live out your faith. So take a moment and ask yourself, in what ways have you been focusing on just losing weight? And what is one step you can take today to start doing this the right way? Start simple, start small, start with intention. And if you'd like a little more structure and support along the way, I'd love to walk with you. I will put more information in the show notes. That's all for now, and I look forward to connecting with you next time. Thanks for spending this time with me. I'd love for you to give my faith-based health and fitness program, Soul Strength Fit, a try. Right now, you can join for just $5 for your first month. Inside, you'll find short daily devotionals, 3 at-home strength training workouts each week, meal plans, recipes, and health coaching, all from a biblical point of view. Stick with the program as it's outlined, and you'll begin building habits that align your health with God's design. Click the show notes to get started.